Trump just detonated a constitutional bomb that could destroy American democracy. His late-night executive order, demanding nationwide voter ID and eliminating mail-in voting, has lawyers scrambling and constitutional scholars warning of the biggest power grab in modern history. Trump's authoritarian escalation comes as federal courts strike down his illegal policies. Legal experts are exposing his constitutional violations across multiple fronts.
Exactly. So they do disagree and, do think that the tariffs are harmful. But I think what the court today said is, look, if the president thinks these tariffs are so important, and today I guess he said they're going to destroy the country if you don't have the tariffs, then make that case to Congress. That's what every president has done before him. Indeed, it's what Donald Trump did the first time around when he was president. When he was in his first administration, he went to Congress and tried to ask for tariff authority. And what they say, Jake? They said no. And so if this is so important, he's got, the Congress is controlled by the Republican Party. It's his party. Go make the case there. But don't distort the Constitution in the process. And it's always, I think a fraught, heady thing when you're going in a court and saying the president did something illegal. You only want to do so in the rarest and gravest of circumstances. But Jake, as we looked at this case, that is this situation. You've got the president who's imposed the largest tax increase on American consumers since 1993 in the form of these tariffs. That's according to the Nonpartisan Tax Foundation. And he did it without Congress saying one word. That is not our constitutional structure.
Beyond constitutional violations, Trump's policies endanger public safety. His appointment of inexperienced extremists to critical security positions is creating deadly consequences.
That they associate with this violence for the rest of their lives. This is something that you bring with you everywhere you go. But I want to talk about another child real quick. A 22-year-old child named Thomas Fugate. He was a Trump intern that is now leading the counterterrorism and threat prevention at the Department of Homeland Security. The first thing my classmates and I recognized after the shooting at our high school that killed 17 people and injured 17 more was that this is political. And everybody who wants to tell us not to politicize the tragedy is deliberately trying to gaslight this country out of understanding that tragedies like this are as political as you can possibly get. Now, this Thomas Fugate, 22-year-old Trump intern, he fired 75% of the staff and said that the focus should not be on domestic terror or domestic shooters. The focus should be on illegals. This administration and their policies, which the Parkland shooting happened during the first Trump administration, which was a disaster of its own, this administration is directly leading to mass murder.
Now, Trump has escalated to direct assault on voting rights. In a late Saturday night Truth Social post, he announced executive orders requiring voter ID for every ballot cast nationwide and effectively eliminating mail-in voting, except for military overseas and those seriously ill. This sweeping decree instantly triggered constitutional alarms. Federal elections are controlled by states, not the White House, and legal experts warn Trump lacks any authority to unilaterally impose such requirements. The announcement represents Trump's most brazen attempt to override state control of elections, testing presidential power limits like never before. He framed the move around election integrity, while echoing the same fraud conspiracy theories that fueled his 2020 election denial. Legal analysts are calling this a direct constitutional assault, predicting an avalanche of lawsuits the moment it's signed. The timing, 14 months before 2026 midterms, signals Trump's desperation to rig the first national referendum on his second term. Trump's midnight decree throws voting rights and federal-state power balance into complete chaos. This isn't about election security, it's about dismantling democratic institutions to maintain power. The economic implications are catastrophic. When presidents impose illegal tax increases through tariffs, the largest since 1993 according to the Tax Foundation, and attack voting rights simultaneously, democratic capitalism collapses. Markets depend on legitimate governance and peaceful power transitions. Trump's appointment of 22-year-old Thomas Fugate to lead counterterrorism, a former intern who fired 75% of staff and redirected focus from domestic shooters to immigrants, shows how incompetence and ideology are replacing expertise across government. The pattern is clear: constitutional violations, illegal tariffs, undermining public safety, and now attacking voting rights. This is textbook authoritarianism accelerating toward full dictatorship. Federal courts have already ruled Trump's tariff policies illegal because he bypassed Congress. Now he's attempting an even more brazen constitutional violation by seizing control of state election systems. The question isn't whether Trump will face legal challenges, it's whether American institutions can survive his systematic destruction of constitutional governance before 2026. Will courts stop Trump's voting rights assault, or will he succeed in rigging future elections? Share your thoughts below, subscribe for breaking constitutional analysis, and hit that notification bell because this power grab threatens the foundation of American democracy itself.